all the prayers of God. What's more, as these praises are prominent in the one in the United States, the very year presents who not see God's cause, why they may not probably join in marriage. I require him now to make this known, or ever known is this. I can do it. Before you get God's decision of all hearts, and if ever of you will listen, why he may not normally join together in marriage, he will come from this peace. For be well assured that if any persons are joined together otherwise, and as God's word allows, their union is not blessed by Him. All that is over. For we are to Father and Father of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. What the regulations be for the Lord us, the leadership was fine, and the success achieved. Thank you for being on these moments, and the questions asked to the church, to the people that want to go into this union. We have not any intelligence of thoughts, please. So I want to thank you for your love for us. And say, absolutely, what you mentioned about the people. Questions are coming, the man who can give the praise will answer them sincerely and accordingly, so that this will be the questions. Thank you for your answer this prayer, and God will give us precious name. Amen. Thank you for your answer this prayer, and God will give us precious name. Amen. We are evidence to be alright. We pray to like in all and honor, in all living and service, in all faith and tenderness, in love, to love with kind, to live kind, and cherish kind, in and oneness, joy, and sorrow, in sickness, and death. According to the covenants of God, the holy bond of marriage on the next duty, as is so answered, I will. Yes, I will. Dennis. Yes, sir. You know how you get to be your husband? You praise your God to gain honor, to obey, loyalty, and service, involvement and tenderness, to live in and taste in, and once, joy and sorrow, sickness and death. About the covenants of God, the Holy One of life, and the death will be Christ. So answer, I will.
Yes, I will.
Who imagines man to be married? It is man. And I do. I'm president of the country. What the Lord you have This way that you are now in this home, you have now taken as your Lord wife is a token of the affection. It means you should take it and the identity. It means you should perform the sacrament of the commandments. God is to give this from answer. I will. Yes, I will. Yes. This way that you accept from the whom you have now taken as a loving husband, you should bear the sign and evidence of the affection for him. And the identity in which you discharge your duties as a wife. The body is obedience from answer, agree.
Yes, I will.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
What the will of Lord affection you grant unto you. Yes.
Yes, sir.
This way that you are living to children, whom you have now taken as your local husband, is affecting affection with me, you should face me. And your identity with me, you choose upon the sacred power of government. According to witness from answer, I will.
Yes, I will.
Answer I will.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Did you okay? Did you okay? Yes, we that you have now accepted from this. Whom you have taken as your own wife, you should be a sign and evidence of the affection for him. And the fidelity in which you discharge your duties as a husband. Promise to give this from answer. I will. Yes, I will. Like the authority committed unto me as a minister of the Church of Christ, I declare that children and the next are now husband and wife, according to the ordinance of God, the laws of the coming of the King, the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Whom therefore God has joined together, let no man put us. Rise up, let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the founder of marriage, and come to thank you once again for this beautiful stay that you have given your people to enjoy today. Thank you for this great discussion on marital welfare and happiness of mankind. Thank you that you use your son to provide the blessed marriage, and you have regulated marriage to your own commandment that it will be sustainable and also fruitful. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving this the children answer questions accordingly. Now, the marriage has been joined, the presence of God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. We are not asking you to take this marriage as you have promised, because it is the need of God. There is man, so that if he is able to live together now with family, there is now calling from you. There is a confidence on the shine upon me. Today you going out and coming in, then the chance that you put the success this marriage around you. Then you will be faithful to your life, and also be transparent in every aspect of life. So that this marriage will be the blessing and the peaceful. But I am asking you as well to bless your daughter that you have brought to me, so that she too will get the blessing of marriage. Bless her with good health, bless her with fortune, bless her with the fruit of the womb, so that children will find their table as your says. Because the word has said, children are in the image of God. They said, you see that the people are full of them. But it is at place. The full of them become like. But then they live in peace and understanding, do not be able to strengthen and disrupt the peace of this marriage. But I realize that I am in and separate life for us to put up. And it is our grace. We are asking you, Heavenly Father, lot of people that have come in here to be in this marriage and to comprehend this. Some are still asking for the fruit of the womb, but this marriage is the place in Jesus' name. Some are also asking for the fortune like this, so that you have your land of your own and also the work of your own. You commit it to your hand. So I also pay this to pass. So the new design time will also come like this to celebrate their marriage. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Let this be known in everything, in the day and in the night, to take and guide them. Let the God of your Son, Jesus Christ, over this marriage, so it will be a beautiful blessing. But I want to thank you for hearing answer this prayer as we come to you in Jesus' precious name. And now we step in the place of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. The love of God in Christ will finish you on his face. The peace of God that passes understanding. Glory of his Christ be and abide with us, now and forevermore. Amen. We want to appreciate our patience. I've come to the end of the text statement of the program of this marriage. He desired to set understanding, love, and patience throughout the chairman and the master of ceremony, their various places of our Thank you very much. Good afternoon, audience.
Good afternoon, all. We thank God so much for this wonderful day He has given us this gathering together. Today, the 28th day of August, year of our Lord 2021. Of course, we will witness the holy submission of our sister, Chineke Janet, and our brother, Mr. Chijoke, whom God has joined this day as man and wife, and are to be known and addressed as Mr. and Mrs. Chijoke. Listen, to the glory of the Lord, and of course, to the shame of the devil. Right about now, we'll take the order of photograph. We'll have the pastor start the photograph right inside the auditorium. After which, we'll take the elders of the church, the choristers. Please, and the pastor's wives, please. Any other photograph shall be taken outside. Every other photograph shall be taken outside. The reception ceremony holds right within the premises. As you leave the church hall, you walk towards my far right. You see the hall. Please, if you are a stranger, just walk towards my far right. And that's where you have the reception hall for the reception ceremony. Right about now, I want to call on Mr. and Mrs. Chijoke to please step forward while I invite the pastor and hosts. Pastor Trustee Uyo to have a photograph with the latest couple in town. Please have over the wife of the trustee. The wife of the trustee to please join the husband. Pastor Trustee John Woodot and wife should please get set to join afterwards. Pastor Trustee John Woodot and wife should please step forward. Please right about now, we're leaving the church auditorium. At this point, we can go all around. That we should please remain where we are seated while we allow the blessed couple to interrogate of us.
Nothing rhymes with Liberty Mutual.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Welcome back. Yes, we'll be talking about what you just saw now, the security breach in NDA. And we've got Commodore Kunle Olawumi joining us here this morning. He's the head, Department of Criminology and Security Studies, Christland University, Nigeria. Good morning, sir. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, this is it's one of those blow your cheeks out moments, because lots of people, when they heard it, they just thought, no way, this can't be. But they just thought, well, in fact, some people thought it was fake news. Others thought, nah, maybe there could be some other explanation to this. And then the academy put up this press release saying, yes, it's been compromised. And here we are today. So details are emerging that raises more questions than answers at the moment. But what's your impression of this, for instance?
Thank you very much. My impression, I think, is just the impression of every Nigerian at this point. This is an aberration. I mean, you don't attack Nigerian Defense Academy and kill officers and get away with it.
Yeah.
The last time I was in NDA was in 2017. I went to carry out an investigation by the Minister of Defense. I wanted me to check what is going on with the training and the security environment there. I remember I spent about a week at NDA with the commandant and with the staff, you know. But something struck me, and that was every Friday, the gate of NDA is thrown open, and everybody have access to come and pray in the mosques. And I want to actually enjoin journalists to go to all military formations across the country on Friday by 1 o'clock. You are going to see the same thing happening across all military formations, including Naval Training Command at Papa, including the division in Ibadan, including NDA, including Jaji. I was in Jaji in 1994 for my junior division. And every Friday, our gate is thrown open. And everybody comes in to pray in our mosques. Even though they have their mosque outside. If you go to defense headquarters, I serve at defense headquarters as the Deputy Director, Defense Administration between 2015 and 2017. throughout my 2 years at Defense Headquarters, I received visitors only twice because of the strict security architectures at the Defense Headquarters. But every Friday, the gate of Defense Headquarters is thrown wide open for everybody to come in and do Jumat. That is the time the terrorists have the time to profile our security environment.
Has that always been the case?
It has always been the case. I've served the military intelligence for the past 35 years. It has always been the case. Our problem is religion and social-cultural. I mean, people will expect me to come here and start talking about kinetics, about operation and so on. I've been an operational commander all my life. I've commanded warships, I've commanded troops, I've commanded men outside Nigeria and so on. But I'm not going to come to your station to discuss kinetics. The problem is not kinetics. In 2017, 2016, I'm always a member of the Security and Intelligence Brief at the Defense Headquarters. I told them, General Lawrence Shakin then, that the challenge we have in this country cannot be solved the same way we solved the problem of Niger Delta. The Niger Delta problem was solved during Yaradua time, basically by me. And I told them that we can't use that same template for Boko Haram. I told General Lawrence Shakin to look at the center of gravity of the problem. And we all came together. I was made a member of the committee, including Atahiru that just died was a member of that committee in 2016, 2017. And we came to a conclusion after several arguments. The arguments were three. To identify the center of gravity of the problem, one group said it is the fighters, the Boko Haram fighters are the center of gravity, so we should go after them. Another group said the center of gravity of Boko Haram is Abubakar Shekau. So if we go after Abubakar Shekau, then the problem of Boko Haram will be solved. I took exception to the group. I said that is not the center of gravity of the problem of Boko Haram insurgency that we were having between that 2012 and 2017. And General Lawrence Shakin asked me, Olami, why are you giving problem? What is the problem? Give us the answer. And I told General Shakin that if I tell you the answer, you're not going to be able to solve the problem. He said, what is the problem? I said, the center of gravity of Boko Haram and insurgency in Nigeria are the sponsors of that program. It was beyond us. Because the job we need to do is kinetics. Fight, destroy places, resolve issues. Yep. But we cannot resolve issue of sponsors of Boko Haram that were in Buhari's government, that we know them.
When you say we, who
I was in the military intelligence. And the Defense Headquarters staff that I work with, they know. And that was why we couldn't pursue that aspect that could have resolved that problem. Because you need to arrest people. And recently, 400 people were gathered as sponsors of Boko Haram. Why is it that Buhari government has refused to try them?
So the government knows sponsors of Boko Haram?
Of course, it's in the news. In April this year, the government said they have arrested 400 Bureau de Change related people that were sponsoring Boko Haram. They told us. And Abu Dhabi also helped us to arrest few Nigerians, tried them, we know them. Why can't this government, if not that they are partisan and they are actually part of the charade that is going on, why can't they bring those people out for trial?
So the Bureau de Change operators on the one hand, but you particularly said people in government. Are those part of the Bureau de Change, or those people that you say are in government are still there, government is aware, and government is condoning them?
The people I mentioned that are in government are not these ones they just arrested. You remember this Boko Haram issue started since 2012.
Yeah.
And I was in the military intelligence that time. We arrested those people It is my organization that actually conducts interrogation and interview. And they mention names. I mean, I can't come on the air and start mentioning names of people that are presently in government now that I know. Presently in government. That the boys that we arrested mentioned. Some of them are governors now. Some of them are in the Senate. Some of them are in Aso Rock. Why should a government try to cause this kind of embarrassment and insecurity to the sense of what happened yesterday? And the solution I gave them in 2017, because when I identified the center of gravity for General Lonshokin, and they couldn't pursue it, because some of them were ministers. And what I'm saying now, the Department of State Services are listening to me. They know them.
Yeah, you know, Commodore.
So the solution I gave them was that if we can't pursue the policy strategic level, because the people that we need to talk to are also, you know, going to be difficult to deal with. I said what they should do now is to conduct two things. We should buy blimps. The blimps are not UAVs. They are not drones. Blimps are equipment that can fly up to 10,000 feet, 30,000 feet, static if you want, mobile if you want, and they carry a lot of payload. We saw them in Afghanistan. We saw them in Kenya. This will be something that can give us real-time intelligence, and we can know where these bandits or terrorists, where they emanate from, when they finish operations that they've done, where they go back to.
Okay. Well,
they did not buy this equipment up to.
Okay, you said quite a number of things. Let's pick up on some of them and see if we could make some, you know, if you could shed some further light on some of them. Since 2012, I mean, you've been in operation, as you said, ever since that time. You questioned several people. Some people were identified at that time. Did the government at that time try any of them? Or were any of them also in government at the time?
No, the government did not try any of them, and the defense headquarters where I worked then did not pursue that line of operation because it's beyond them. The defense headquarters, actually, when you look at the defense structure of Nigeria, they lie within the policy strategic level, but basically they are operational guys. So when you have policy problem, then they cannot go beyond their masters. They can write intelligence reports and say this is what is going on. And we've seen that the present government know what is going on.
I'm sorry, is this a policy problem? I mean, the laws are clear. If someone is said to be involved in something as devious as this, the laws are clear. This person is meant to be arrested, questioned. I mean, it's quite clear. So is it a policy problem? We have the laws. So what is stopping the security agencies from actually enforcing the law, since that's what they are?
With our unique tub-over-tub installation in just a day, Bathfitter doesn't just fit your bath, it fits your busy schedule. Why have over 2 million people welcomed Bathfitter into their homes? It just fits. Bathfitter. Call now or visit bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
I think what is stopping them is like when you are a member of a church and your pastor have decided to be at a certain level of spiritualism, and you're a member of that church, you cannot be higher than your pastor spiritually. You can't, no matter what you do.
So this is the same religion you spoke about?
Yes. In real life, you see that the defense headquarters cannot conduct any operations that is not sanctioned by the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Yeah. They cannot.
No matter how small, little
they cannot. So when the Yar'Adua government decided to put an end to Niger Delta militancy, that was in 2007. What he did was simple. He called all the security chiefs and all the intelligence chiefs and task them to come up with a solution. The Defense Intelligence Agency, the National Intelligence Agency, the Department of State Services were called with the Inspector General of Police and the Interpol to come up with the solution to the problem. Then the problem was Niger Delta. The president was Yaradua. He was dispassionate. He wanted to solve the problem. Within 6 months, we solved the problem. I remember I have to go to Angola to go and bring Herioka, and nobody in Nigeria knew what we did. All we know is that since 27, 28 that we conducted our operation under Yaradua, Niger Delta issue has remained manageable. This government does not want to resolve this problem. They are escalating it because of tribal and religious sentiments.
So when you say this government does not want to resolve it, don't forget the same government has purchased, in fact, they're going to induct the Sopeto Kano jet because of, the insecurity situation. They have, the president has had to change guards, as it were, as a result of people's clamor. I imagine if that was not in the thinking, why would you go that length to make some of the, some of the pronouncements, the meetings that have happened, the purchase, the change of guard and the rest? Why would they do all that if they don't want to sort this?
Because that is not the solution. What you just mentioned is not the solution. When you have a problem at policy level, strategic level, operational level, when you have a problem, what you need to do is to identify the center of gravity of that problem and attack it. That's what you do. What they are doing is not attacking the center of gravity of the problem of Boko Haram and insurgency. So if the president is buying Super Tucano, is changing service chiefs, that is not the solution. We are looking at the wrong side. It's not kinetic. It's politics.
Are you ruling out kinetic altogether?
I can't rule out kinetic because
so it's
a spectrum. It's a spectrum, so you can't rule out something. But the center of gravity is what they should look at. And what is it? I'm saying it on this channel. It is the sponsor of Boko Haram and bandits.
And speaking about the sponsors, when you say the DSS, and they could be listening to you, but so they profile, part of their responsibility is to profile all of these persons before they either vie for elections or before, they are nominated for any of these positions. Doesn't that happen? Don't they get intel and say, look, this and this is what we found, and then we don't think that this should proceed further? Doesn't that happen?
It does. When I worked with the DSS in 2007, because when Yaradua approved the operational order that we did, we now have to work together as a team. He actually forced all of us to sit down together and work together. I was surprised at the tremendous amount of information had by DSS. I was shocked. We in DI, I was in Defense Intelligence Agency, and when they were forced to bring out the files, I was shocked. They have so much information at DSS presently as I'm talking about what I'm talking about. They have. But you see, if a fish is going to get spoiled, it's going to start getting spoiled from the head. The DSS will not do anything except the Commander-in-Chief's body language shows that this is the direction I want to go. That is where the problem is. The DSS has tremendous information. By the time 2023 is here and somebody take over and wants to undo some of this evil that I've seen in this country, you'll be surprised names that the DSS will bring out. They have the information. There's nothing I'm going to say here that they don't have. The defense headquarters have the solution for the kinetic aspect. They do. I'm not going to come here to advise them. I work with them, and they're still there. The Chief of Naval Staff was in the intelligence with me. We were together in Defense Intelligence Agency. That's Vice Admiral Gambo. I know these people are good. They know what to do. It's not that they have problems. It has to do with politics, the sponsors, people that feel that this country should be Islamized.
Assuming but not conceding that, that all of this is the case. So what is the end game? Because I imagine as a strategist, that's what you think about. So these things are happening. what is the end game? So why will this be allowed to fester? For what purpose?
The end game for them, because we did, normally when you want to look at this type of challenges, what you do is that you go through what we call the intelligence circle, okay? When you do the processing and you do the analysis before dissemination point, you discover that the end game for them is to just turn this country into like a Taliban type of country. And it's a mindset. And anything goes. In other words, 10% casualties, 20% casualties is allowed in trying to achieve the end game of Islamizing this country.
That's for the terrorists, the bandits.
It's not for the terrorists and the bandits, for the sponsors. Because I told you, and I will repeat on this channel, the sponsors of Boko Haram and the bandits are the problems. And defense headquarters, the army headquarters, the naval headquarters, the Air Force cannot do anything about that. Buhari has to do something about that. The Interpol has the list of those people that are sponsoring Boko Haram. I work with Interpol. They should ask, if they don't know, they should ask. The government of Dubai, they have the list of those people. During the trial of those people that were caught, names were mentioned. They have the list. The government also told us that they've arrested 400 sponsors of Boko Haram. Why should a government not try those people and bring peace and harmony and safety to this nation? Why won't a government do that? Those people that are going to harass cadets and officers in NDA, they live around the place. I know NDA very well. I was in Georgia, I was in NDA as young officers, and I know the area very well. They live around the place. So why can't you put up a blimp that can see what they are doing in real time and eliminate them? Why won't you do that?
In fact, there were more details saying that some persons slept up, but we'll come to that, hopefully. Markwa has got some questions for you. Markwa, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chamberlain. Much as we're looking at, it looks like we're looking at the remote causes. The immediate causes, I think, is what is worrying a lot of people in terms of the significance of the attack. For some people, they're wondering, what do you think were the bandits trying to pass home a message when they chose the National Defense Academy as the area of the attack? I mean, as the area they decided to attack. Because normally people know that military installations, for instance, if you were to, I mean, you've talked about how the military institutions are usually open to the public on Fridays. There'll be questions as to this attack did not happen on a Friday, it happened on a Tuesday. So the guards were supposed to have been up. So there'll be questions as to what happened, how was the perimeter breached, what about the guards that are usually mounted on, watchtowers, what were they doing? Were they asleep? There'll be areas where there are CCTV cameras. What happened in those areas as well? There are huge questions around that. And then the significance, what gave these bandits the audacity, the temerity to be able to say, this is going to be the area we want to attack today? Do you have any questions roaming in your head in terms of, what were they trying to really achieve beyond? Because some people say this is not about ransom. Maybe they want to take a ransom, yes, maybe. But it looks like they were trying to send home a message.
Yeah, thank you, Markwe. You just got it right. They just want to send a message. And this is what terrorists do. And what the Buhari government should do is to tag these people as terrorists. What they want to do is to send a message to create fear and to show the military that we can come for you and there's nothing you can do. You may not know, I don't know whether it's out in the news, that the major has been killed. Belongs to some groups, and I know about 3 hours ago, his body was found. He has been killed. So it's not about ransom. I just want to confirm to Markwe that she is right. It's not about ransom. They just want to pass a message. We can come in. We can do what we need to do. And there are some hardliners in this government that are sponsoring this kind of narratives. They just want to show that they can Islamize this country. They think about Taliban, they think about the Mujahideens, and they want to replicate it in this country. And they don't care what happened. They simply don't care. As long as at the end of the day, there's Sharia, and there is whatever thing they have in their head, they want to achieve. So these people that are sending messages are sponsored by Nigerians.
Sorry if I could follow up on that quickly.
Please go ahead.
This part of what you just spoke about now, the security agencies gleaned this from those who they arrested over time, saying this is the intention.
Absolutely. The intention of it's on the internet. So it's not even about the people we interrogated. The intention is to Islamize Nigeria and practice Sharia. And it doesn't matter if some people die. It doesn't matter if you're embarrassed. It doesn't matter if our economy has generated. Look at the interest rate. Look at the inflation rate. Look at the debt profile of Nigeria. They don't care. As long as at the end, the Quran is at the sea. So some people in this country have this mindset. And we must tell the truth. If you tell the truth, you die. If you don't tell it, you die. Some people have this mindset to Islamize the nation. And they are in the government. And people know them. The DSS know them. The NIA know them. The DIA knows them. Because it is the DIA that conducted the operations, that arrested these sponsors. So they know them. Why is the government, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces?
The general area of Afaka, where where the NDA is cited, is no stranger to this sort of attacks. Before now, I mean, a few other institutions around the Defense Academy have also been attacked. Talking about the Institute of Agriculture and Forestry, Mechanized Division, something to that effect. I can't remember the exact name of the institution now, but we do know that they have been around this area. Now, I'm looking at the front page of Daily Trust newspapers, and they have this, why NDA security was compromised. And the first writer says, bandits leave peacefully. Peacefully is in parenthesis, near academy. There have been questions before now that sometimes, this happened in Jos, around Rukuba, that, there were attacks happening in the neighboring area, and that the military institutions did nothing. The same thing happened when there were attacks on the airport, the airport's residential area in Kaduna. That was very close to the Defense Academy. They did nothing. They attacked the forestry school in Kaduna. They did nothing. Now they have finally come for them, but the talk is that these people have been there all along. They never went anywhere. The bandits who perpetrated this attack have been there all along. Does the military really need, I mean, if this is something that is of concern to the security agencies, because it was only a matter of time from what it would seem that we're reading that these attacks were going to happen, did they really need to wait this long before they took action against people they knew were a security threat to not just them, but also the people around their environment?
Yeah, Makwe, I may also shock you that some cadets have been abducted before now. And when they took these cadets away, and they demanded for ransom, as low as 400,000 naira at that time, the cadets were released after the ransom were paid. And the cadet told them that where they took them to, that they could hear the parade going on in NDA, that they were not taken far away from NDA, that every morning they hear the parade and the programs going on in NDA while they were in the camp of the terrorists. You are right. These people live around NDA. It's about social-cultural issue. As long as you are a Muslim and you speak Fufude or Hausa, you can do whatever you like. and fraternize with the military and go in and out of the barracks. You are saying that the attack did not happen on Friday. Of course, it will not happen on Friday, but they have enough time to carry out surveillance. They have enough time to have insiders that will work with them. The problem is that journalists should go around our military institution this Friday and carry their cameras and see the decadence, the security breach that goes on every Friday in all military institutions across Nigeria, and tell the Minister of Defense to put a stop to that. The defense institutions, they are sacred. They are not where people can come on Friday, throw open the gate because they want to come and do Jumat. The truth is that on Sundays, we don't have such, invasion of our premises by Christians to come and pray or to come and do whatever on Sundays. But for the 35 years I spent in the military intelligence, if you go to Tego Barracks in Apapa, it's the same. The Tego Barracks is where I was trained as an intelligence officer. It's the same. On Friday, they will troop in. They throw it open. It's religion. And because we must think about solution. The Minister of Defense should stop this. They should make pronouncement and stop it. Every Friday, people should go to various mosques around them to pray and maintain the sanctity of our military institutions. That's what
so I wanted to know if this has been an issue before now. I mean, has this been anything that, the people at the top in the military have found as a source of concern? Let me raise an instance. For instance, we know that at almost every security institution, even on the roads here in Abuja, before you can enter the same road that leads to any military institution is divided in two. There are huge barricades to prevent anybody from just entering, so to speak. This became a source of concern for the military, in terms, especially after the attacks on the police headquarters. Has this been a source of concern for for the top brass of the military to say, hey, look, if we're taking these steps to put barricades, then this is also going to be a source of concern for us. What can we do about it? Have they elevated this discussion?
At defense headquarters, every Monday, even if you go this Monday coming, you will see they're always there to discuss intelligence and security brief. We discuss all topics there, including the issue of Muslims gathering every weekend. All those barriers you see at defense headquarters, and that's why I'm talking to the media. They should go there on Friday. The barrier is no longer there. It's open because it is Jumat. And this is when they come to carry out surveillance. If you look at what happened in Mogadishu Barrack, it was the same. That was the time they went there and blasted the place and killed a lot of people. It's these same people that are allowed to have access on Fridays and become members of the mess because they are, it's a social-cultural issue. So I think we should begin to look, the Minister of Defense should put an end to this, because for 35 years of my stay in the military intelligence, it has been the case. Both naval